Hi, my name is Brittany Marashulo, and I'm an international student from New York studying at Queen's University Belfast. I study creative writing and I'm doing the master's program. Why did I choose Queen's University Belfast? Why did I fly all the way across the ocean to go to Belfast? Well, I chose Queen's because on my hunt for a university, I stumbled across the Queen's University website and it was beautiful. I'm not even kidding. It was kind of a mystical experience. I looked at a picture of Queen's University and I just kind of felt like I could see myself living there. I could see myself feeling at home there. And that was my biggest thing. I kind of just went with my intuition, and I feel like anybody who's kind of doing this, you have to trust your gut, trust your intuition, and even if you're afraid, it's so interesting because even if you're afraid, your intuition's going to be louder than the fear. And if the excitement is louder than the fear, do it. Just do it. Take that leap of faith, and you're not going to regret it. So, I guess to sort of wrap that point up, if you are feeling nervous, if you're feeling afraid, that's okay. But if you look at Queen's University and you see yourself learning and growing and living there and just flourishing into your best self there, if you have that feeling, go for it because you're probably right. And so that's why I chose Queens, and that's why I chose Belfast too. I just felt like it was a beautiful city, beautiful university. They had incredible clubs and societies, so many clubs and societies that it made me so excited. They had, for me, they had the theater society, musical theater society, fashion society, English society. They had every society you can think of. And as I said, coming out of the COVID pandemic and having felt like I lost that last year of education, I really, really wanted to go somewhere that was going to have opportunities for me to expand and grow and discover more interests. Like, I don't think we ever really stop learning. So if you're watching this at 18 or if you're watching this at 78, I feel like we never stop growing. We never stop finding more of ourselves. And I think education gives us the chance to sort of go into the roadmap of our interests and just explore every path possible. And Queens, having that many clubs, that many societies, I ended up joining societies that I didn't even think I would. I joined the Philosophy Society. I joined like the Mythology Society. There were just so many. Yoga Society. Like, I just ended up joining and looking at all the meetings, going to whichever ones just felt like interesting to me. And I went to a couple that I didn't necessarily think were interesting at the beginning just to see if I could, if there might be something there. And I think that that's really beautiful. They have so many opportunities for that. And then I guess there's like the academic stuff. We can't ignore the academic thing. Queens is a Russell Group University, which I did not know what that was before I had arrived there, actually. So I was very, very surprised when I found out that it was actually part of this really prestigious group. And I was so, so delighted by that. And I think that that's really wonderful. I think that moving forward, not only do I leave Queen's University with this huge feeling of accomplishment from that, but I also know that when I go into looking for jobs and looking for places to expand and grow in the world of the workforce, I really feel like having that certification is really awesome. So that would be why I chose Queens and my course. And I'm so grateful that I did. I can honestly tell you that my course has been more than a course. I have found a family and a community in my course that I never thought I would ever have. I met people from all over the world, like my peers and my colleagues were from all over the world, and that was magical. I have friends from places that I never thought I'd have friends because I was always so cooped up in New York. I went to a university that was local, and we had a couple international kids, but being an international student in an international city was magic. And I can never express how grateful I am for that. And my program, my lecturers, my professors were some of the warmest and most inspiring people that I've ever met in my life. Every single one of them made me feel like they were personally invested in my success, not just as a student, but as like a human. I felt loved. I felt cared about. I felt like they knew that being an international student can sometimes be hard and it can sometimes be intimidating, but They went above and beyond to make me feel like I was safe and home there, from the students to the lecturers to everybody. Everybody that I encountered at Queen's made me feel like my happiness, my comfort, and my education, my growth was a top priority. And I seriously like can't express how grateful I am. Queens really does so much. They do so much to help you assimilate into the community and find your place. And for me, I mean, they had in my accommodation, they had like an ice cream night, they had coloring, they had so much. At the student union building, they had the like freshers fair with all the clubs and societies. And literally within the first week, a week that I thought might have been wrought with, homesickness and fear and worry and maybe that, crippling self-doubt trickling in, and it didn't happen. Every fear that I thought I was going to have didn't even get the chance to surface because Queens had so many fun things planned, from fairs to socials to cafe crawls to pub crawls. There was so much happening, and I didn't really get that chance to sit there and go, did I make the right decision? Because they came in immediately to confirm that it was the right decision. I made so many friends in the first week within my course and within other courses. I had so many opportunities to the clubs all start up really fast. So there really wasn't a moment for me to sit and go, was this the right decision? Because like I said, immediately there was proof upon proof upon proof that it was the right decision, because there was just so much fun stuff happening. So my welcome and orientation experience was incredible and scary and then incredible again. It was just amazing. There was support around every corner. There were friends to be made every single day. And it really felt like, to me, it's so cheesy to say it, but it felt kind of like going back to the simple fun of elementary school and like those first couple weeks. Because I think that it's so interesting in a collegiate environment to have the fun and the freedom of those earlier years when everything felt like, oh, we're just going to go and play on the playground. But it was at the student union building and we were going to be having coffees and talking about our courses. And I want to say it was that effortless. It was that fun. And it's weird that all of those fears and like weird things that happen when you become an adult and you think, oh, everything's got to be all serious. It wasn't. It was like, come in color with your colleagues, come make friends. And I did. And so will you. So yeah, I think you're going to have, if you decide to do this, I think you're going to have the most amazing welcome and orientation experience too. And I'm so grateful for mine. I genuinely cannot express how grateful I am for every single step of the way, from my plane landing to my classes starting to well into like the middle of the program. It's been amazing. And there's never ever been a time where I didn't feel supported, whether it be by my friends, my lecturers, by the school itself. It feels like they put so much in place to make sure international kids are okay and that we don't ever feel too displaced or homesick. And I think that that's really an incredibly special part about Queens. I think that's actually one of the biggest reasons I chose Queens too, because I knew that they had so much to support us, because they have such an international community and they are very ready, willing, and they just have the biggest hearts. That's just like, I know it sounds so cheesy, and I feel like they are ready to support international kids in every single way. And if you're feeling homesick, if you feel like you miss that comfort bubble, know that there's going to be someone at Queens who is going to be there to hold your hand, to give you a hug, to just sit down and talk to you. If you need to go color, if you need to go get coffee, if you need to, I say color because there's always like cool coloring things. It was just amazing. I love that. There's always going to be something for you to do, someone for you to talk to, somewhere for you to go. You're never going to feel like you're alone. And I think that was one of the most special things about my welcome and orientation experience. Okay, on to the fun stuff, because I know that got a little emotional. So now we'll talk about some differences between Belfast and New York. So I'm from, New York, so Big Apple. I will say Belfast was a lot smaller than New York. And honestly, the entire area was just, oh, so beautiful and compact. I'm used to being from the United States. I'm used to everything being really far from each other. Like in New York City, of course, there's, connecting and, there's connected, there's like the subway and stuff. But in New York State, everything's so far. You got to drive everywhere. It's like, oh, I loved how both like Northern Ireland and Ireland are so interconnected. You can get trains anywhere you want to go. You can like everything's just feels more close. It feels like you can really see and experience everything without having to go like these huge long drives. I mean, anyone from the US will understand, and from New York specifically, yeah, it's like you got to go 2 hours to do anything once you get toward like the suburbs and the rural areas of New York. In Belfast, in Northern Ireland, in Ireland, everything's close, everything's connected. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. But Belfast is a city, oh my gosh, smallest, cutest little city. And that is exactly what I needed. Trust me, I was coming out of a period again, coming out of the COVID pandemic. I was really struggling with just going out and like easing into things. And that was another big reason that I ended up choosing Belfast, because it felt like something that was going to be both a city, but like with the cozy vibes of like a town. And that is, it delivered above and beyond. Cutest cafes. There is so much to do. There's so much to do without feeling overwhelmed by it. And I love New York, don't get me wrong, but New York is a little bit overwhelming. Belfast is so cozy, quiet, walkable. You can walk around and you will like spot the occasional party bike go by with music blasting, and that's fantastic. I would literally dance every time. It's great. I love it. There's so many cute little shops and bookstores and like thrift stores and charity shops. It's wonderful. It's just the cutest little city. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I didn't know about it before this. Like, Queen's University couldn't be in a better city because it is just the cutest little place. I can't even explain like how much I loved it. It's not just how adorable it is in terms of having the like cute aesthetic cafes to go sit and work in, and like library spots and things. Belfast has this vibe that I've never experienced anywhere else. It feels like a place where everybody just wants to help each other. And coming from New York, where people can be a little bit more closed off, it was just incredible to me that within weeks, people just knew who I was, and everybody was always offering to help. Oh my God, such a community, such a beautiful, beautiful community of people who just always made me feel like somebody was there to help, somebody was there to reach out, whether it was like me walking home from the grocery store and somebody going, "Do you need help with any of that?" Like, amazing. I was so shocked by that. I don't know. It just felt like one of those things that I've never experienced. Like people just going out of their way to make you feel like you are helped and supported and loved, and everywhere. I went to cafes, just started knowing who I was. Like they would know my order, and I was like, they'd be like, "You matcha and whipped cream?" They just knew who I was. Oh my gosh, it was amazing, and I loved it, and I was so grateful for that. So I feel like the difference is, for me at least, coming from an area where there's a lot more people. Like New York's a big city, people go in and out. It's not that you won't find community, but I felt like Belfast was small enough that people could really get to know each other, and you could form those like community bonds with people that you know from the cafes, the grocery stores, people you can just kind of keep in touch with and make friends around every corner. I made friends just walking to the bookstore, just walking around, because people felt like they were genuinely welcoming and they want to talk to you, and it was just so beautiful. So it was small enough that you could form that, but big enough that you never really get bored. There's always things to do. There's rooftop cafes, there's pubs, there's music, there's so much. So I felt like Belfast had this beautiful balance of that being a big enough city where you can walk around and you can find new things every day, and small enough city that you can have community and you can actually get to know the people and you can be known by the people and never really feel like you are alone. Again, you never feel alone. And in my spare time, I tended to sort of just explore. I loved wandering around. I would wander toward the Titanic quarter and just be by the big fish. That was nice. I like water, so I would do that. I would take the train. I love the train. Oh my gosh, Belfast Grand Central, my favorite place. So I would just take the train and go to St. Helens Bay or wherever I wanted to go. Apologies for my dog barking. I'm home now in New York and I'm really sad about it. I miss Belfast. So, I would take the train to St. Helens Bay, and that was really wonderful. I would go just on day trips. I would love St. George's Market. That was beautiful. So many artists. I would just walk around St. George's Market just to be there. But that was another place where you just make friends. Like I just started making friends with everybody at St. George's Market because you could just talk to the vendors there and talk to the people going around. It was so beautiful, so fun, so fun. I got to shout out St. George's Market. That I was there way too much and I spent way too much money on stuffed animals there. Big sisterly advice, don't buy every single Highland cow plush, please. I have like 5 of them. Sorry. Yeah, you're going to have a great time though, trust me. You're going to find a community here everywhere. You're going to make friends at the bookstores, you're going to make friends at the cafes. They're going to know who you are and it's going to be beautiful, trust me. If I had to wrap it up in one sentence, I'd say Belfast is a city where you're just never going to feel bored and you're never going to feel alone. Yeah. And finally, any tips or advice for American students thinking of applying to Queen's and moving to Belfast? Well, I kind of have this whole thing where I feel like I'm trying to tell you how amazing it is, but I guess, like I said, I started this out as kind of a big sisterly advice thing, and I want to keep that vibe here. It's a big decision. I know it is. And I know sometimes in America, just because it's a really big country, but it's really far away from everything. And I think it can feel really isolating to grow up in America and not really connect with the rest of the world. I think because America is so big, we kind of feel like there's not much beyond those borders. But trust me, getting outside of those borders is going to open the world for you and open your mind and your heart in ways that I think I never even imagined. And for me, it was this huge, huge jump out of my comfort zone. My whole world just got bigger. My whole world got bigger overnight. And so for any American students thinking of applying, feel the fear and do it anyway. There's never going to be a moment where everything feels perfect. There's never going to be a moment where everything feels like, yeah, this is the time. You make the time. If it's time, you're going to make it happen. You have to pave the path. And you have to choose when it's the right time. You're the only one who can. So I would say that if you're thinking of doing this, if it feels right, if it excites you, if when you think about it, you feel like the world gets brighter and more beautiful and like you're going to see the world through all these new beautiful lenses. All I can say is it's almost like when I stepped off the plane in Dublin and when I arrived in Belfast, I took the bus there. It felt like the world had new color in it. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but I think that that's just what happens when you step so far out of your comfort zone that suddenly you can't help but feel like a little kid discovering things for the first time. And it changed me as a human being, and it changed me as a student, but it changed me as, I don't know, everything. It changed my whole outlook on life and how free and beautiful and expansive this world is. So if you're thinking about doing this and you're even remotely afraid, feel the fear, do it anyway. Send out that application, apply for those loans if you have to. Money comes back, time doesn't. And if now is the time, do it. Do it. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you not only have what it takes, but you have everything that you need right now. And if it feels right, then go for it. You've got it. You've got it. You've got this. You're strong enough. You're brave enough. You're prepared. And any challenge that you don't think you're able to tackle now, you'll tackle there. You're going to do things that you're going to accomplish things that you never thought yourself capable of because you gave yourself the chance and the space to do it, to try it, to grow. I've never felt more capable of achieving my dreams in my entire life because of my experience studying abroad and at Queen's. I've never felt like I could do anything quite as much as I feel right now. Because studying abroad was one of the hardest and scariest things I've ever done. I just dropped everything and left. Just dropped myself in the middle of a country that I had never been to before and just told myself, figure it out, girl. And I figured it out. And I didn't think I would figure it out, but I did. And you will too. Trust me, you will too. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. Take that leap of faith. Jump before you can see that you're going to land in the most beautiful, wonderful environment that you've ever experienced. Give yourself the opportunity to grow. Give yourself the chance to show yourself what you're capable of.